Hi, besties. Welcome back to the Bestie Talk podcast. I'm your host, Kianna Jit, and today we are talking about spirituality. I am honestly a little nervous to be talking about this today, but I'm also really excited. My excitedness is beating my nervousness, so I feel like that means we're going to have a good episode today. We are going to talk about a little bit of everything when it comes to spirituality. We're going to be talking about how I got into spirituality, how you can get into spirituality, what I did and how I got into it, and misconceptions on spirituality, and all the tea we are going to spill when it comes to spirituality is going to be in today's episode. So make sure you're comfy, or I know a lot of you guys like to listen to the podcast on Sundays when you're doing your reset Sunday. So let's get to work, girls. Okay. So I want to talk to you guys about how I found spirituality and like my just like I feel like my very first spiritual awakening. Let me take you back to a time. It was like probably maybe like a year and a half ago, maybe a little bit over a year and a half ago. And I had recently just had a huge falling out with my biological father. I had gotten married a couple months before that, and I had a huge falling out with him, and I feel like that was the beginning of my spiritual awakening, to the point where he didn't even come to my wedding, and we haven't talked to this day. But that was the beginning of my spiritual awakening. And then after that, I had a huge falling out with my maid of honor at my wedding, and just it was a big tower moment for me. I just had a lot going on, but I had started my spiritual journey in January of 23. So January of 23 is when probably December to January of 23. But that's when I started, and I feel like a lot of people go through a huge spiritual awakening right when they find spirituality, or right before they find it. They go through like this huge turn of events where it's like either a huge death in the family, or a huge falling out, or just some huge event happens in your life right before spirituality comes in, and it is literally like a spiritual awakening. And I used to think that spiritual awakenings only happen like the one time, like that major fucking one. I was like, all right, that's it. I'm not gonna have to deal with it no more. No craziness is gonna happen in my life. Bitch, I was wrong. I was definitely wrong. Spiritual awakenings happen continuously. They don't just happen that one time and you're good to go. So definitely keep that in mind when you are going on your spiritual journey, that you're going to continue to have spiritual awakenings and all of that good stuff, but it's always for the better. So spiritual awakenings always happen because spirit, divine, the universe wants you to kind of like wake up and realize that you're on the wrong path, and you need to get to the good side. You need to get to where, obviously the universe wants you to be, and usually that is spirituality. So that's personally what happened for me. I started getting healing sessions with one of my besties, Angie, guided by Angie. I've had her on Bestie Talk before. I'm sure you guys know exactly who I'm talking about. She really, I feel like, and it's funny, me and her were just talking about this the other day, where she has this amazing gift where she knows exactly why she's in someone's life, and she also knows when like her time is done in someone's life. And I feel like it's such a great gift to have, because a lot of the time people don't really, it's like me, I struggle with like, am I pushing this friendship on too long, or this relationship or whatever? Like, should I step back? I don't really know, but she has a really good gift of knowing exactly when she's done with the relationship and why she has come into someone's life. And her with me, like why she came into my life and what she taught me is spirituality. She showed me the light 1000%. Like before Angie came into my life, I thought spirituality was scary. I thought it was witchcraft, all that stuff. I think that almost everybody thinks before they find spirituality is like how scary and crazy it can be, or how like people have made it up in their fucking minds, how scary and crazy it can be. I was that too not that long ago, like 2 years ago. I literally was in a lot of the same places that a lot of people are now, where they think that spirituality equals witchcraft, and it is not. So I know exactly where people are coming from with that. But Angie definitely came into my life for that reason. And she showed me spirituality, and she showed me that it is love and light, and that it's positive, and honestly, how amazing that it can be, and just like how much it honestly saved me. And that's why I feel like so compelled to talk about it with you guys, and to just tell my story, and just to show you guys that it's not scary, it's not dark, it's not anything crazy like you might think that it might be. So yeah, shout out to Angie, because she made me part of who I am today when it comes to spirituality. If it wasn't for her, I would be one sad, angry bitch. I would be. But I really want to talk about like what has spirituality done for me, because I think a lot of people, I don't know, think that like people who are spiritual are like riding off into the sunset singing Kumbaya, and it is not the case at all. I always tell like my clients and just people around me, healing isn't pretty. Healing is very rough. It is rocky. It is a hard fucking time. It's not pretty at all. It is going to be a bumpy ride, but it is a ride that is worth it. I promise you. So what spirituality has done for me is, I used to be a very, very angry soul. And that's not saying that I can't get mad and I can't fuck up a bitch, because I can fuck up a bitch still. But before spirituality, I was just an angry person. Like, I would be angry at the world. I was confused. I was lost. I was really, really sad. And I let that turn into anger. And I projected a lot of my angers onto people around me, and situations that I would be in, and just everything. I was just a really, really angry person. So spirituality has taught me where those angers come from. Why am I angry, and how to change that anger, to transform that anger into something else, and to use it for something good and love and light. So that definitely saved a big part of me. And the other day, actually, like maybe like a month ago, my mom mentioned to me, she was like, you used to snap at us a lot. And the thing with me is, when I would be angry and I would snap and I would do those things, it's not like I didn't know that I was like being mean, or I was being a fucking bitch. Like, I knew I was being mean. I just could almost like physically couldn't control it. Like, kind of like when you're drunk, not when you're like shit-faced drunk, but like when you're drunk, it's like you can see yourself doing things. You see it, you notice it, but you can't control it. That's kind of how I was with anger. Like, I would just lash out and get really angry. And so when my mom had said that to me, it really like put things into perspective of like, I am really a different person now. Like, I am like definitely changed. I'm a lot nicer. I'm a lot softer, because that's too what the anger had made me, was really hard and harsh. And that's just not who I wanted to be anymore. That's not who I am to a core. That is what my traumas have made me be, and I chose not to be that anymore. And that's what spirituality helped me do. But it has also taught me a lot of lessons that I don't think I would have learned without spirituality. Just like a lot of lessons. I'm not going to go too deep into it. Maybe one day I will go more deep into some of the lessons that I've learned, but it's made me really like, when life is fucking shitty and you're sitting there and you're like crying, like, why me? Why this? Why is this happening to me? It's made me step back from how I'm feeling and look at the bigger picture and be like, okay, what lesson am I being taught right now? What am I not looking at? Why am I sitting here and like crying and saying, woe is me? Like, what do I need to learn from this situation to better myself? Spirituality has taught me that lesson, and it is such a valuable lesson. Like, I will take that to the grave with me, and that's something that I want to teach others around me, is like, I get it, life fucking sucks. Like, I'm not one to say like, oh, stop saying woe is me. No, like, woe is you, bitch. Like, be sad. Like, I'm never gonna say don't be sad, because there's times where I'm like, I just want to fucking sit here and cry my eyes out. Cry your fucking eyes out. But also in the day after, I need you to take a step back and look at the lesson and look at like the bigger picture, and what can you learn moving forward? What can you do next time that's not going to get you back to the sad place that you were a day ago? That is like my favorite lesson. Honestly, it's something that just is made me change the way I live my life. And that goes into my third thing that spirituality has taught me, is just like a totally different way of living life. I used to be like, something that really stands out to me is like the movies and TV shows that I watch now. I used to be a I'm so sorry, you guys, a crime junkie type of girly. Like, I love me some Bailey Sarian murder mystery. I love true crime. The gorier the better, like the SVU, like all that type of stuff I loved. And once I found spirituality and I really started to heal, I realized like, hey, why am I not watching these anymore? And so I tried to watch them, because that was something like me and my husband loved to do. Like 2020 was like our shit. Like the crime ones, like all of that stuff. We loved watching stuff like that. And so when I would watch them after finding spirituality and after my healing journey, and that's one thing I will say, the healing journey is never done. You will never stop healing. You will always continue to heal. So never say that your healing journey is over. So after I started my healing journey, I would try to watch these shows and I would be like, yo, wait a minute, this is super triggering. Like, it was like I would feel these types of emotions that like I wouldn't feel before, and I would like get sick to my stomach and I would cry really bad and I would just be really upset over whatever the hell I was watching on the screen. And I realized when I started this healing journey, now I'm so much more sensitive to those things around me, and sensitive to what I'm watching, and sensitive to what I'm listening to, that it's completely changed my view of what I like to enjoy. And not saying in a scary way, because like I think I could still watch like some scary stuff. Like, I love scary movies. I still like to watch some true crime, but it's not to what I was watching, like the level it was before spirituality and my spiritual awakening. I feel like that's low-key what I would watch all the time. Like, I literally loved watching that, and that was like all I would watch. And I also feel like it was also my way of it's so fucked up, to be honest with you, but like, especially with like sexual assault and stuff like that, I used to think that I was so alone. So when I would watch things like that, it was almost like a realization that like, okay, I'm not alone. There's other people that go through that, or like, see, somebody else has it worse than me. I need to stop crying about whatever the fuck I'm going through. And that's such a fucked up way to think, because just because somebody is going through something really shitty next to you doesn't make your emotions and your traumas lessen. Just because somebody next to you has a lot of trauma and is going through like a really shitty time does not make whatever you're going through less than. So I was doing that when watching the sexual or like the true crime episodes and stuff like that. And so then when I started to heal, I realized that, and I realized that, the realization of like, okay, just because they're going through stuff doesn't like less value mine. And I really need to like actually confront these situations and these traumas that I'm going through. Like, I can't continue to ignore them. So I definitely got taught that with spirituality. And same thing with music. I love, like, one thing about me, I am a Nicki Minaj stan. I am a Barb for life. Okay, I'm a Barb. I love me some Nicki. Okay, and I know every word and all of that stuff. But I used to start my day off with like angry music, like fuck you bitch type of music. Love that still. Like, I'm in the gym, definitely put that shit on. But on an everyday basis, when I'm starting my day, or I'm driving to work, or I'm really overstimulated, things like that, I do not need that type of music now. I need music that's going to ground me, that's going to calm me down, that's going to make me feel love and light, that's just going to make me feel better, that's really going to ground me, honestly. And that is a huge difference now within finding spirituality, is truly like what I surround myself with now, that stimulates a different part of my brain than like other things that have stimulated my brain, if you get what I'm saying. But I went ahead on Instagram when I decided like, okay, it's time, I need to film a spirituality episode. I was like, I need you guys to let me know, like, what are your questions about spirituality? Like, what questions do you guys have that I can help answer you? Because I feel like if I had somebody like me way back when, like 5-10 years ago, bitch, I would not be the trauma but mess that I am right now. Like, I would have got to work a long time ago. So I want to be that person for you guys. I want to be like how Angie was to me for you guys too. So one of the main questions was, how did I get started and how can you? So when I first got started with spirituality, like I said, in my healing journey back in January 2023 by getting a healing session. And that really made me realize, I don't think I realized how traumatized I was and the traumas that I had. Like, I thought, oh, I got over that. Like, I don't need to really worry about that. No, bitch. Like, it was crazy. She had picked up on stuff that had happened, like, God, maybe like 6-7 years ago that I thought I was over. And I realized I'm not fucking over it, because I am sitting there crying about it. So, I really realized that I had a lot of trauma that I needed to get over still. So I definitely recommend that for you guys, like getting a healing session. Or I think a really good like way to kind of open the door is like just getting a cleanse or a healing session is a good way to kind of just start it off, like cleanse off all of the bad things around you, all of the things that you've taken on and that are like you're continuing to bring over to this new version of you, because that's what this is about to be. If you decide to go on a spiritual path and you decide to start your healing journey, you are going to be a new version of you, a good version, not a bad version, but it's going to be a new version. So you need to cleanse off of all the old shit, all the baggage, you know, all that nasty shit. But after I started the healing journey, I really dove deep into meditation. Like, meditating was like something that honestly, that alone saved me so much from myself. Just being able to sit in solitude by myself. And I'm not saying that it's easy at first. Like, you don't know how many times I've meditated, even today, where I will meditate and I'm trying to freaking connect. I'm trying to ground myself, and all I'm thinking about is the long list of shit I have to do. But my biggest tip is guided meditations on YouTube. They help so much. And honestly, another thing for me is just sitting outside, like doing my meditation outside helped me like tremendously. Just sitting outside, being able to breathe fresh air. You can play nature sounds, ocean sounds, whatever the hell you want to play, but meditation truly helped me so much. It really helped me look within, be able to connect, sharpen my intuition, and just really calmed me. It also, I meditate too, and like I used to think that meditation, you need to be sitting there with, like this, or with like like with your hand. I don't know what this symbol is. I realize you guys that are listening can't see what I'm doing, but like the Om. Like, I used to think that like you need to meditate for like hours on end, and it needs to be like you're sitting up straight and all of that stuff. But like, let me be the bearer of good news. It does not need to be like that. You can meditate for 2 minutes. You can meditate for 2 hours. You can meditate sitting up. You can meditate laying down. You can meditate standing. You could do whatever. I've meditated in the shower. You can meditate in the pool. Like, you can meditate in the ocean. Does not matter. You can meditate everywhere. And that's what I think is the most beautiful part about meditation, is it doesn't matter where you are, as long as you can ground yourself. That is what's going to help you. So even now, like when I start to get really anxious or get really overwhelmed, or I get flustered or overstimulated or angry or sad, I just take a minute and I meditate for 2 minutes, and I calm myself back down. I center myself, and I remind myself I'm not the old version of me. I'm the new version of me. I'm calm, I'm cool, I'm collected. And oh my God, that has helped me so many times, especially not to fuck a bitch up. So meditation, that is key. And then my second thing is journaling. I talk about journaling so much. I think you guys are probably sick of me talking about journaling, but journaling will help you so much with just releasing, getting that anger out, getting the feelings out. If it's good feelings or it's bad feelings, I always tell people, do not press down emotions, even if they're good emotions. Like, if you had like an amazing fucking day or something great happened, like you got a job promotion, you got a work opportunity, you got whatever it is, you just got engaged, like journal about it. Like, write and get your emotions out, even if they're good emotions, but especially if they're bad emotions. That is what's going to help you so much. And just releasing them. My favorite tip too is like, if it is a bad emotion, not a bad emotion, let's get that straight. There is no bad emotions, but there is negative emotions. So even if it's a negative emotion, if you're feeling negative in that moment, if you're feeling sad or depressed and you get it out on paper, burning that paper, it just does something. It helps you release in a physical form, an energetical form. It just helps so much. So meditation and journaling will help you so much in your spiritual journey. Just getting it off and rolling is going to help a lot with that. Another question you guys had was learning the balance of spirituality in a human existence. And I think that's partially another reason why a lot of people are scared about spirituality is like, but I still want to like drink and have fun and live life. I will always say this, just because you're spiritual does not mean that you can't go out to a club, drink, or live your life. But it does mean that you are going to be more sensitive to those types of people that are in those environments around you. And remember that they are going to want to penetrate your love and light, penetrate your healing journey, and penetrate your spirituality and get you back to egotistical dark side and depression and sadness. So when I say that, I want to talk about a experience I had recently where I hadn't really been out in a a huge environment, like a big group of people in a long time. And I went to a graduation, and it was a great graduation. It went great. It was about an hour, whatever. And I was just, in my element. I was really happy. It was a great day, love and light. Like, it was just a great day. And remember that people who live in ego, people who live in darkness, people who live in hatred and sadness and depression, they see love and light and they either do two things. They run away from it because they don't want to see it. They don't want to be reminded that there's people that are happy, or they try to penetrate it and they want to tear you down. So that was something that happened with me, was that I was in a situation where I was love and light, happy and everything. And somebody that was near me saw that and just wanted to destroy it. She wanted to destroy my happiness. She wanted to destroy that I was feeling good about myself, that I, was confident, that I was happy, that I was smiling, I was laughing, whatever. Her ego wanted to destroy that. And I almost let her. I got mad. I responded back. I almost reverted back to it. And that's why I want you guys to be careful when you're in spirituality, that you want to remember that you can be around people that might want to get you back to bad ego and back to to the version that you were before you found spirituality, and the version you were of you that before you found the healing journey. So she got me there. She definitely got me there. I was toe to toe, nose to nose, ready to swing on a hoe. Okay. I was ready. I was mad. I was puffing my chest. I was pissed. Okay. And I feel like my spirit guides sent me two women of love and light, and they just stopped me. They were right in front of my face. They saw what was happening. They saw that my love, my light, my aura was trying to be tainted, and they calmed me right back down. They reminded me who I was. They reminded me of the work that I have been doing. They reminded me of spirituality and everything that I worked so hard to be, and I grounded myself. I calmed myself back down. I gathered it and I released it. I let her go, whatever, and moved on. After that, I realized, okay, yes, you can still go out. You could still, go to a club. You could still go to a concert. You could still go to those big events. Never say that you can't, but understand that you have to protect yourself extra. You have to be a little guarded and remind yourself, okay, if I get a sense that somebody is a little bit more negative over here, I'm going to stay clear of that. I'm going to protect myself, maybe say a protection prayer, and just understand that, you are somebody that is love and light, and darkness wants to control that love and light, honey. So they're going to do everything they possibly can to destroy it. And so cleanse yourself maybe when you get home, or cleanse yourself when you get in the car, whatever it is that you do. But it is definitely, you will notice that once you are on your healing journey, or when you are practicing spirituality, that people around you aren't going to like that very much, and they're going to want to destroy it. Another thing too that I want to definitely point out and just say, when you're spiritual, you can drink, you can smoke, you can do shrooms, you can do whatever it is that you necessarily want to do, but from a healing perspective. You cannot drink and smoke and do shrooms and all of that stuff to get away from your reality, to suppress your emotions, to numb yourself. That is where the line is drawn. And you have to remind yourself that when you go to places like a club or to a bar that do drink and all of those things, that do the things that you maybe still want to do, there's going to be people there that are still in that mindset of, I am only drinking and I am only smoking because I want to suppress my emotions and I want to avoid and deflect. And you have to understand that those people don't have the same mindset as you anymore. And so maybe you might not connect with them as well. So definitely remember that you still are having a human existence. You're still here. You're still, a human. You're not going to be 100% perfect. You're not going to be like holier than thou and just, wearing like the Virgin Mary. Like there's going to be times where you still want to do things that are of a human experience, and you can still definitely do them. I just think that you need to do them from a healing perspective. That's my personal opinion. But to each their own, for sure. I know that when we're talking about drinking and we're talking about smoking and things like that, some people get a little sensitive to things like that, especially people who maybe were a little addicted to them before, or maybe they used them to do the things like suppressing their emotions and all of that stuff, but now are on more of a healed path. So definitely remember that when it comes to being spiritual. So the next thing that I want to talk about, and it was a question that was asked, or just I think more of like a topic, like hey, can you discuss this? And I would love to discuss this. But there's a huge misconception that if you are spiritual, you cannot believe in God. And when I tell you that is the furthest thing from the truth, it is the furthest thing from the truth. Just because you're spiritual does not mean that you can't believe in God. You can believe in God. I believe in God. I believe that there is a higher power, somebody that is above us, that are down here, and that they are the ruler of all. And just because I'm spiritual doesn't mean that I can't believe in that. And a lot of people have that misconception. Some people think that being spiritual means that you can't also be religious, but I know so many people that are both. And it's a beautiful thing to have both. And it's a beautiful thing to have one. It's a beautiful thing to have none. It's all up to you and whatever you want to practice and whatever you believe in. Like, I just can't even understand the thought process of judging somebody from what they believe in. That's just something I don't practice in, and something that I don't believe should be practiced. But another thing that I want to talk about is what it is to be spiritual. I feel like being spiritual is more of a choice of how you're going to live your life. Are you going to live your life in a negative, depressed, angry, confused, lost state? Or are you going to live it in a positive, love and light, working on yourself, healing, being a light to others, being positive to others state? I think that's more of what spirituality is. It's about how you decide that you are going to wake up every day. Are you going to wake up happy and excited that you get another chance at life? Or are you going to be pissed that you have to go to work and you're annoyed that you have another day of this shit? So it's definitely a choice, is what I feel spirituality is. And there's also, so much more that spirituality can be. There's a bunch of tools that we have in spirituality that I want to talk about a little bit. This is not all of the tools that we have in spirituality. And it's not, it's not all of them, but I will say, you do not have to use any of these. You can use all of these. You can use some. You can not use others. Like for me and my friend group, like I love me a good pendulum. One of my best friends hardly uses them. I love essential oils. One of my friends doesn't even touch them. So there's a bunch of different things that you can use, and do whatever calls to you, and that's probably what will work for you. But crystals, I like to talk about crystals a lot. Crystals are for grounding. They can heal, they can protect. There is so many crystals now, it's like kind of crazy. I personally love to like see all the different ones. Love me a good crystal shop, so that is a great one. There's pendulums and cards and oracle cards that are a tool of divination, but they're also a tool for self-reflection and personal insight. So then there's sage and incense and palo santo that could be a tool to help cleanse and to reset your energy, something that you can use to cleanse your workspace, your car, your home. There's herbs, which can help heal. They can remove energy. They can protect. They're medicinal. There's a bunch of different things you can do with herbs. You can create baths. You can create teas. You can do yoni steams. So many different things. There's sound bowls. Sound bowls are one of my faves. I personally don't do sound baths and sound bowls, but like I said, Angie, she's amazing at that. And sound healing is something, that'll get you. A quick little story. When I first met Angie and did my first couple of sound baths, I hated them. After every single one, I was angry, you guys. Like I was like in a badass fucking mood, and I was like, what is going on? Turns out I was literally tapping in and like collecting the energy of people around me. So remember that with sound bowls and things like that and just events, is that you might be so sensitive that you're tapping into other people's emotions and energies and feelings. And when I realized that, and I just said like a quick prayer of like, I do not accept anybody's energies but my own, honey, I ended up loving sound baths. I'm like, oh my God, these are amazing. I listen to like a sound bath pretty much every morning before I like start getting ready for my day, kind of when I'm doing some meditation. I like to listen to sound baths. You can find them like on Apple Music and stuff. Oh, my favorite. Essential oils, we talked about that. They can be grounding, healing, protecting. Egg cleanses are really cool. Egg cleanses are like literally what they are. They're cleansing and they're healing. They can help remove blockages, remove evil eye, things like that. You can do them yourself, but you can also get them done by a practitioner. And then candles. So candles and egg cleansers are something I personally do. So I could talk a little bit more about what those are, but they're definitely healing. So candle healing is something where you are putting your intentions into a candle, and it's pretty much like a healing session, but in a physical form, if that makes any sense. So you are just setting your intentions. So let's say, for example, you want to burn a white candle to help for protection, just from like for your family, for yourself, for your home, whatever the case may be. You can meditate with that candle and help just put your intentions into it, like, please protect me, protect my home. I'm going to while this candle burns, I'm protected, and whatever intentions that you want to set onto it. And one of my favorite things that I love to do is writing on the candle. So like writing a protection prayer, writing your intentions onto that candle, and then lighting it. And you can do that with pretty much anything, like abundance, career, self-love, happiness, trauma, things like that. You can do with pretty much any candle. You can also Google like spiritual, like the colors and what their spiritual meaning is. Like green is obviously for abundance, pink is self-love, white is protection, so things like that. But you can do all of those things yourself. You can get your own candle, set your own intention, light your own candle. Same thing with the egg. You can grab an egg, you can wipe it over, cleanse yourself, all that stuff. They have a bunch of things on Pinterest, but you can also get it done, like I said, by a practitioner like me, who can set help set your intention and use their own energy to help make the intention more potent, stronger, more intense, whatever it is that you're deciding to work on. Like for me, my specialty and something that I just love to heal and work with is self-love. If you couldn't tell, I am a huge self-love enthusiast. I love to help others find their own self-love, their self-power, their self-worth, because I've been there for a long time of feeling, not having self-love, not having self-worth. And I just feel like that is my purpose here on this planet, is to help you guys, help other people find that and find their power and their truth, and really work on why you don't have the self-love. Who took it away from you? What has caused that? What has caused the trauma? And same thing with self-worth. So if you guys have any questions, I think I'm going to leave the spirituality episode on that note. I hope you guys learned a lot from this episode. I love talking about spirituality. I could talk about it all day long, girl, all day long. But I hope you guys got some insight and realized and maybe saw a good side of it and realized that it's not as scary as, maybe social media or just people have made it seem. And realize that it's a place of love and light over here. We're just a bunch of love and light girlies just wanting to heal and break generational curses, okay? But if you guys have any questions or you guys want any services or anything like that, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I would love to help you guys with any of your spiritual journey or any traumas that you may have. I love doing that. It's definitely my calling, but I love you guys so much. I will see you guys next week on the next episode of Bestie Talk. Make sure you're liking, you're commenting, you're subscribing, you're sharing with your bestie, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.